Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna talk about orchid leaves. I don't know if you know, but orchid leaves, they do tell a story. They will show signs if your orchid is doing well enough, if it is healthy, but also they have some unique traces, characteristics that will be linked to orchids. So not today, we will only dive into the physiological world of leaves, of orchid leaves, talk about some of these unique patterns, what make them special, how they can help our orchids, some of the signs of distress that are related to the leaves that we can notice on our leaves, and how can we better look after our plants. I hope if that's the type of content you enjoy seeing here, hit the like button, stay here with me, leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel. There are multiple ways that you can support me using some of the affiliated links on the description of this channel. The super thanks down below here. And the most important of all, as I already said, is hitting the subscribe button here on YouTube. Anyway, let's dive into the world of orchid leaves. Orchid leaves are remarkable, especially when you look at how adaptable they are. Did you know that epiphyte orchids, which grow on trees or rocks, have developed thick succulent leaves? If you notice, some of our orchids, their leaves are very, very thick, and this helps them store water efficiently, perfect for surviving in environments where water isn't always available. That's why not only they have their aerial roots, but the leaves are also an essential part of the survival strategies of our epiphyte orchids. These leaves are protected by thick cells, walls, and cuticles. I'm gonna put some pictures here. Make them tough and resilient. They even have smaller stomata. So the stomata are cells that will control the amount of gas that will come in and out of the leaves. So if you have open stomata, you not only will lose more water, you exchange more gas. When you have smaller stomata, you will exchange less gas, you lose less water. That's why some of these, they will have smaller stomatas. For example, the stomata in Paphiopedilum are slightly sunken, whereas in Cypripedium, they extend outwards. So depending on the environment that your orchid is growing, if it is terrestrial, if it's epiphyte, if you have more water available for them, you're going to see a huge difference in the stomatas. As I just told you, some of them will be more sunken, it will be more deep inside of the tissue of the leaves, and others, they will be larger because they are, let's say, terrestrial orchids that will be exchanging lots of gas, and they will have a different photosynthesis process. So this difference made orchids be able to colonize most environments in our planet. Some orchids, like the epiphytes, like our beautiful Phalaenopsis, Cattleyas, and some other epiphyte orchids that grow in tropical and hot country, they have a very special type of photosynthesis that's also performed by other plants, but here we're talking about orchids. This is called CUM, but I will write the name down below. What happens is during the day, the stomatas, the sporus of the leaves, they will be closed. So the plant will not be losing water to the environment. But at night time, they will open and they will be able to take in CO2 as well. So this mechanism, this CUM type of photosynthesis, it's amazing for our orchids because it will help them to save water inside the leaves. And also, imagine if it's not raining for a while, how they can perform well in this environment if they are not touching the soil. So when we talk about orchids, we have, if I probably know that, but if you're a beginner, that video is perfect because we have a monopodio, that's one leaf will grow on top of the other, and we have a central stem, so that happens with Phalaenopsis, with Vandas, and some other type of orchids. And then we have the sympodial orchids they will grow a new shoot or a new growth. These new growths will come after the blooms are gone. So instead of growing one leaf after another, they will grow one growth after another on a horizontal type of axis or stem. These will make this plant capable of extending more than the monopodia because they are not growing only upwards, they will be growing horizontally as well. Simple, dear orchids, you will find the pseudobulbs. These pseudobulbs, they are actually created by leaves. They will change in the process. The way that they will be formed together, they will create the pseudobulbs. And the pseudobulbs is what allow the plants to have maybe thinner leaves, but still store water and nutrients that will be inside the pseudobulbs. So what I have in here, as I was talking about the pseudobulbs, is that they will conserve water and energy for our plants to be able to bloom. That's what happened with Cattleyas, Dendrobiums, and Oncidiums. So now let's talk about how these leaves can tell us a bit about the health of our orchids. They can tell us a lot. If you notice yellowing leaves, it could be indicate anything from overwatering to nutrient deficiency. Always check if the roots are too wet or if the plants need a fertilizer boost. So, for example, some plants can lose the bottom leaves naturally, they can yellow and fall. However, if you have a new orchid and it's just all of the leaves are yellowing and dying, you have to check to see if you have a serious case of root rot, if you have stem rot, if you have some other sort of rot, or if maybe you just have to offer some fertilizer, as I've already told you. If you have leaf pitting, especially in Phalaenopsis, can be a sign of cold stress. So when you have the temperature too low, they are not using to it, what can happen is the leaves, the cells of the leaf can collapse and die. Then you're gonna have all of this pitting there. Wilting or shivered leaves might mean the plant is dehydrated. I showed that in many other videos, but if you notice wrinkles, limpness, that means that you don't have enough water inside these leaves or inside these pseudobulbs. So you can have a problem with the roots, or this plant simply needs to be watered. There are many other signs. Something else that you can notice on your leaves is if it has some grazings, dark spots. That's a sign that you have pests in your collection. And always look at both sides of your leaf when you are watering it, making sure it's properly clean and it's properly hydrated. From time to time, something that I enjoy doing is just watering the leaves of my orchid when the weather is warm, so I can guarantee that they are also cleaning, they are all clean without dust, and then they are also photosynthesizing a little bit better. Some orchids will naturally have different coloring on their leaves, some will be more gray, other darker. So you need to get to know your plant as well, to notice if the leaves are shiny, if they are waxy, if they are just growing in a natural span that is larger than previous leaves. So all of these you can observe when you know your plants, you know how well they are growing. So always do a bit of research to be able to grow your orchids well. What I want to tell you with these videos is that leaves are a window into your plant's world, so always observe them and take into account if something changed or if something is not doing all right there. Your orchid might have other underlying issues. Also, some common disease like fungus, virus, and bacteria can attack your leaves. So if you notice black spots, for example, sometimes you need to cut that part of the leaf. You need to change also the amount of light that's receiving. There are a couple of things that we can do to improve the life of our orchids and to make them even healthier. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give the thumbs up, watch more of my content, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment. I have two other videos. One is about orchid flowers and the other one is about orchid roots. So I decided to do one about orchid leaves, but this subject is very complex. So leaves in orchid, they will adapt completely differently according to the environment. So I try to simplify as much as I could. I hope you enjoy it, and I see you next time. Bye bye.